Welcome to Hit the Road with Mo and Joy. We're friends that met in kindergarten and we love to travel. Now we're sharing our experiences and inspiring you to explore. Whether you're traveling by sea, in a train, flying high, or road tripping, it's time to hit the road with Mo and Joy.
Hey y'all, I'm Mo.
And I'm Joy.
And we're here. We are hot on the 1-year anniversary of our trip to Ireland. And with that, we've been reliving some memories, and we thought, what better way to kick off the podcast, right, Joy?
Absolutely. Ireland was such a magical place, and I would love to share all that we learned and all that we saw with our listeners.
And Joy, actually, that was her second trip to Ireland, and it was me and my family's first trip. So she even brings extra perspective. Well, actually, we may even cover some of that in a different podcast because you had different experiences. What we thought we would do with this set of podcasts, couple of stats here. We, including our travel days, 12 days, 18 cities, 1,209 miles driven, or if you prefer kilometers, 1,946, 8,444 miles flown round trip, countless memories made, 1,175 pictures and videos taken. We decided to plan our trip as a cross-country road trip. We included Northern Ireland as well. So we hit 6 towns in Northern Ireland of the 18 visited. And we thought we would just take you guys through day by day and just give you a feel for what we experienced, what stood out, and possibly give you some inspiration as you are possibly planning your own trip to Ireland.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, Joy, let's go ahead and get started. Day 1, obviously, is a travel day. Our trip to Ireland, as we said a moment ago, this is our 1-year anniversary that we've come upon. And it was funny to go back. I forced myself to keep a journal this go around, even though there were a couple of days where I was like, "Oh,
I don't want to write in the journal today."
Exactly. And I actually let myself get behind. And I remember telling you, Joy, that day at the table, you know what? Like, here we are in the moments, but I can't remember all the details from the other day.
Right.
It's so incredible that you go out and you start these trips and you have all of these expectations. And you want to obviously make the memories and you want to enjoy all of the things. But isn't it crazy how quickly sometimes it can just all get past you?
Absolutely. It just goes, whoop. And I'm getting better at taking pictures. But a picture does not tell the whole story.
No.
It does not capture the conversations. It's so limited. And I mean, pictures are a wonderful thing. And like I say, I'm getting better at it.
You are.
I've been very bad at it.
Good job for growing.
And I have to beg my friends, like, will you share your pictures with me? Because I didn't take any because I wanted to be in the moment. And I'm having tech issues and all these different things. But I can't say enough for journaling and writing it down. Email yourself if you don't want to have a pen and paper in your hand or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely write that stuff down. It's very important.
I think so much of the value of the written word has been lost over the years. Like, I can distinctly remember, and Joy, I know that you've always been a big fan of the written word, but I distinctly remember as a child having to write thank you notes to family members and so on and so forth. and mailing them. And my child today, like, yeah, that's a no. So I would definitely say that I have been a very inconsistent travel journaler. However, there are certain times and experiences that I will capture in different ways. And I knew for me, I went out and I got myself this lovely floral notebook. And, I had, of course, my pen of choice is always purple ink. I don't know why, but that's been decades.
Didn't know that about you.
Really? Like, everything's always been purple, even in my professional life.
That's funny.
No one could ever steal my pen, though, because I was the only one, right? But, yeah, so I had my little small, beautiful journal and my purple pen. And now that we've decided to, kick off this podcast, we have this great resource.
Absolutely.
To kind of remember and enjoy and share with the listeners.
Absolutely.
So let's see here. As we go back last year to our travel day 1, I had actually forgotten all about this, but I went back through the notes and I saw that our trip was on the Monday night following the week of the CrowdStrike debacle.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And then I got to thinking about that, and I was like, wait a minute, what was that? Because, of course, 8 million things have happened since then.
Right.
And then I remember I had personal friends who were supposed to be traveling the Thursday and Friday before we left on Monday, and they got stranded in the airports.
Right. Because there was something with the computers,
Yep.
and it messed up all the reservations, and then it grounded some flights as well, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
But it was pretty impactful and frustrating to people. I can't remember the one friend in particular, but they were taking like a big trip that had been planned, and it actually really ate into their experience, which was terribly unfortunate. But we just wanted to talk a couple of minutes about, well, I guess first we should acknowledge, thankfully for us, we were blessed. Our flight did go as planned through Atlanta and then on to Dublin. So we were very thankful for that. We were expecting the hiccup, but we were blessed not to. Joy, you've definitely done a lot more international travel than I have in the last probably 10 years. What are some things that you can tell our listeners about the easiest way to survive the flight across the pond?
I do not love long distance air travel.
Same.
I'm usually good for about 4 hours, but anything over that, it starts to get, of course, painful and boring. And I'm a very light sleeper, so I cannot sleep on flights. One thing that I do is I always choose the aisle seat, and I'm very specific about choosing the aisle seat.
Ditto.
And there were 4 of us that traveled, and I think 3 of the 4 of us chose the aisle seat. The experienced people.
Yeah.
And the young one, he chose to do the window seat. But he had his reasons and everything, too.
Right.
I don't know. We flew on Delta for this one, and I enjoy flying Delta. I've flown United recently. Did not love that, and I don't even really have a good reason. I don't know if it's because I'm a year older. I don't know if it was because of the seat configuration, but it was just a much more uncomfortable flight. Whenever possible, I would say go ahead and fly direct.
Yes.
Eliminate the options and the possibilities of your luggage getting lost or not being able to make a connecting flight. Get rid of any of that hoo-ha that might be stressing you out for the flight. If you can sleep, yes, go ahead and sleep. But like I say, I have trouble with that. What about you, Mo? Were you able to sleep on a flight?
I'm kind of similar. I think for me, it just depends. For the longest time, I could not even dream of sleeping. But, remember, I went through all those years in my professional life of traveling. And there was like 6 months way back when, but like on a weekly basis or bi-weekly basis, I was traveling from coast to coast,
Mm-hmm.
back and forth, back and forth. And a lot of those times, those would be the red eyes. But I do definitely try to prepare if you're going to hop across the pond. Do whatever you can to be as relaxed as possible and try to sleep. A lot of times it's not perfect for everyone, but that's always the goal. I will share a couple of things that I did new and different this trip that I found very helpful. For the first time, I did research on like trendy, cute compression socks.
Oh.
Because one of the things that tends to happen is swelling when you're seated for so long in your legs and whatever. And I have a little bit of a bum ankle on one side that sometimes gets aggravated. So I decided to do some research, and I can't remember off the top of my head. I want to say I maybe got like the Boombas or whatever. But I will tell you that they worked great for me. Obviously, it's always kind of cool on flights, especially if you're flying for any length of time. The other thing that I did different is I knew that I wanted some better neck support in order to try and encourage some snoozes. I wound up purchasing a funky new neck product called Turtle that is not spelled with all the vowels. And it was the strangest contraption when I got it, and even stranger when I tried to test it out and use it. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, what have I done? My husband made fun of me. But once I got the hang of it, Joy, I mean, we talked about it. It was wonderful. I had no stiff neck. I did actually get some snoozes in. Of course, it's never perfect, but I definitely think it is worthwhile. Don't forget your comfort on the plane.
Right.
Because 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, 9 hours, that does become a long time. And I feel like you get such a leg up once you arrive to your destination, in our case, Dublin.
Right.
To feel as good as you can.
To feel human.
Right, because your next job is going to be getting off the plane, getting your things, trying to acclimate, getting your car or your transportation, whatever it is that you're going to do, because you're now trying to begin the process of time acclimation. That really talks about our day one, some great tips that we had. Joy, did you think of anything else that would be helpful to our listeners? You know what we didn't mention? What did we bring in our carry-on bags?
I mean, snacks. We always need snacks because I don't eat airplane food.
Yes.
Because it's full of sodium and
yes.
Who knows what you're eating.
I do agree with that. I think it's very important. So I'm a reader. Joy, I know you're a reader as well. I did take a book with me. I think one, maybe two. But I know I finished an entire book, and I only read on my plane time. Obviously, not any during our trip because I was wanting to experience the things. But when you have a long flight, and if you're a reader, definitely do that. I know my husband and my son, they wasted all of their time watching like back-to-back movies. They're the visual people. The other thing clearly that you can do is line up some podcasts that you've been putting off, or if you want to break up some and listen to some great tunes. I will confess that I love to listen to kind of classical or major chill out vibes because I'm trying to create a calm space
Right.
and entice myself to go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, the more you can sleep on your, what feels like for us, overnight flight,
Mm-hmm.
just the better position that you'll be to start your day.
Yep, absolutely. Do you remember anything about the Ireland airport?
You know what's funny is I don't really remember a lot at our arrival. I remember a lot more when we left. I will say I think that must be a very positive thing because that means we didn't encounter any bumps.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember any poor experiences whatsoever. I will say a little bit about our experience getting our car rental. I don't know if you remember much about that, but we had done a lot of research about the car situation.
Yes, you were very concerned about the amount of bags that could fit in the back because we were traveling with 4 humans and we needed room for 4 bags.
Yes.
And everything that we were looking at, because they don't have cars like ours, they
Correct.
have cars for the European market.
Mm-hmm.
Everything only had room for 3 bags.
Yes.
In addition to that, if you listeners don't know, they drive on the opposite side of the road from us, and they also drive from the opposite side of the car.
Correct.
The wrong side of the car.
Yes. So there's a lot of things that's different, and as you're saying that, Joy, it made me remember the heartburn and the back and forth. One very important thing to do and to know is the majority of the car rentals are going to be manual transmission.
Oh, that's right.
Most people don't know how to drive stick shift. Now, I was raised in a home where we were forced to learn how to drive on a stick shift, and our first vehicles had to be stick shifts because our parents were like, once you can do that, you can do anything. I still did not feel comfortable with that because, you know, of course, I grew up driving on the side of the car that Americans do, and I used my right hand to change gears.
Right.
Well, getting back to what you were saying, Joy, about the car configuration over there, you would actually, because you're driving on the opposite side of the car, that then meant that you had to deal with the coordination of the gears with your left hand.
Right. And at one point you guys were like, oh, we'll just get the manual shift. It's so much cheaper. And I'm like, you know, but you're going to be dealing with this and this and that. And do you really want that additional? But in addition to that, if you guys became incapacitated for whatever reason, I wanted to be able to drive the car too. And I was like, there's no way that I'm going to be able to drive a stick shift.
I'm glad. I mean, looking back, I'm not going to lie. It does cause the financial planner side of me some heartburn.
Right, especially when you have that skill.
Yes, but when you're comparing the car rental cost of an automatic, and oh, by the way, those are more limited numbers, so plan ahead.
Right.
Versus the expense of the automatic. But I have no regrets. It was worth every penny to have the automatic, absolutely 0 regrets whatsoever. And I will also share with the listeners that we did something different than what we have done all of our other trips where we have secured rental cars. And that is, we actually did take the car rental dealership's advice and we got the full insurance. I distinctly recall being warned. The roads are extremely narrow here. Joy, I think we can attest to that.
Yes.
Okay. Some of the more country roads, since you guys are planning to do such an extensive road trip, we were actually told expect to have damage.
Yeah.
That was a little bit, the bluntness of that was shocking. We had not originally really discussed those things, but we did wind up paying for the car rentals insurance too. And I will say, I think from a peace of mind perspective, I remember feeling a little bit of relief because it almost was like, okay, if we have an issue, we're covered.
Yep, absolutely.
So I'm so glad that you brought that up, because those are some very valuable things that I think our listeners can benefit from.
One other thing, while I'm thinking about it, while we're on the topic of vehicles, in the vein of planning and money and all those things, they sell gas, which I believe we had a gas vehicle, not diesel, right?
Correct.
They sell it in liters.
Yes.
And it's more expensive over there. And if you're getting it in liters, you're paying out a lot. So a lot more of the funds than we had planned for went towards gas.
And
which you just build that into your buffer, but
correct.
But something to know about.
That's such a good point. And the other thing, when you said that, didn't we run into a situation at one point where we had to we couldn't use the card, like our credit card or whatever, and we actually had to go and get the local currency? Because remember, Ireland was in euros, right?
So, correct. Ireland proper.
Yes.
Or the Republic.
Right. But the Northern Ireland is still UK. So it was...
in pounds.
In the pounds. So you want to ensure, if you're going to visit both parts, I'm gonna call it both parts, although obviously it's all one thing. But you do want to have a little bit of a heads up about the currency, and obviously we got more bang for our buck with the euros versus the pounds, at least so it wasn't like a terrible, horrific difference. But it is something to think about, and there will be some situations, for example, parking meters. Right. I remember a situation where we had to go into a bank. I want to say it was in Kinsale or someplace, where we had to get some local currency specifically that would fit into that daggum parking meter, and that was challenging. So I know everyone has their different feelings about currency and how much you should get and what you should do, but you definitely need to plan to have some abilities to have local currency, because you will run into scenarios where you will need it, and depending upon where you are, it may not always be easily accessible.
Yes.
So don't get caught with your pants down, so to speak.
Do not.
Well, gosh, that was all really great stuff. I can't really think of anything from a day one perspective, but I think those are just some really great practical insights for not only planning a trip to Ireland, although some of it was specific to Ireland, but just planning for an international trip in general.
Yes.
Well, great. Well, Joy, I'm looking forward to this journey of reliving our Ireland trip experience. Day 2, we are going to dig into what we did when we got to Dublin after getting our rental car. We're going to talk about the drive to Carlingford, and then on to our first Airbnb out in Lisburn, which was lovely. So looking forward to that, and I'll see you then, Joy.
See you then, Mo. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Hit the Road with Mo and Joy. If you have questions or topic suggestions, we would love to hear from you. You can connect with us through our website at hittheroadwithmoandjoy.com. On the website, you'll find all the things: socials, blogs, recommendations, inspiration, and things you might need to know for upcoming travel. And if you'd like to partner or advertise with us and connect with our amazing audience across the country, feel free to reach out to us at hittheroadwithmoandjoy.com/media. That's it from us this week, but don't forget, get out there and explore.